Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the After Work Anime Club podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the. Yeah, don't like that. I did not have YouTube muted, so I just heard my voice coming back at me. And
Yep.
For the record, you can hear me. And you.
Yay.
Yep.
What about Yami?
Yeah, I can hear everything on Twitch.
Alright, so it sounds like our sounds are good.
Woo!
What's up, everybody? My name is Lulu. I do artsy fartsy stuff. I like character development. And my favorite color changes with my mood.
Ooh, okay, so this is the formula we're going
with
today. All right, let's do it. I am Yami Brooke. Maybe one day I will return to consistently twitching. I don't know. I like pretty eyes, and my favorite color is always and forever will be purple.
Sorry, that needed to come out.
That's a mood. That's a whole mood.
Hi, I'm Salvatore Shark. I know things. I'm very tired. And you guys don't get to know my favorite color.
What if we guess it?
I'm not going to confirm or deny anything.
Is it blue?
Is it gray?
I said I'm not going to confirm or deny anything.
You didn't say you wouldn't deny it, just that you wouldn't confirm it.
I said confirm and deny.
Well, I didn't hear that second part, so therefore you didn't say it.
That seems reasonable. Hey everybody, tonight's anime is Isekai Isekaya.
Yeah!
It's a weird show.
It's a treat.
It was a nice break.
Mm-hmm.
There were no children traumatized in this.
Wasn't that
No.
wonderful?
Look.
And I want you to know, a starving child comes up later and is just immediately dealt with. Just immediately, here's food. You work here now if you want to.
Oh. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Oh, Isekai Isekaya.
All right, so we're going to feed them for a day, and then we're also going to give them a way to feed themselves for the rest of their lives. Cool, I like it.
Yeah,
Kidding. Yeah.
Yes.
Salvo, you are the one that chose this anime, so can you give us a brief overview of what is it? What is this anime about, and why did you choose
Yeah, sure. I'll just give you the 20-second rundown that happens at the beginning of every episode.
to do that?
Yeah.
It's a Japanese bar/restaurant that its front door opens to a parallel world, which is not based on Earth.
Yeah.
Mostly because it has 2 moons.
Is that the differentiation here?
I mean, it's really hard to say otherwise. It's a medieval time frame.
Mm-hmm. Like, it was not clear to me whether or not it was Earth, but then Sharko pointed out the 2 moons, and I'm like, well, okay then.
I really thought that was obvious because it's in like the first 15 seconds of the episode.
I did not notice. What? No?
Wait, Beanie's saying she can't hear anyone suddenly. Hold on. Testing.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna let her know that's on her end.
And we're back! Yay!
Okay.
Cool.
Minor panic attack. Everything's fine. Anyways, yeah.
Cool.
I chose this because trauma for like 4 weeks straight. Just really wanted something else.
Understandable.
You know, if you had asked me a few weeks ago, Lulu, do you watch a lot of traumatic anime? I would have said no, that I avoid traumatic anime at all costs.
How's that working out for you?
I would have been lying.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But so, Salvo, you've seen all of Isekai Isekaya, but you rewatched the first 4 episodes with us. Does it hold up the second time around, third time around, fourth times? Have you watched it?
I actually haven't seen it all the way through. I never finished the last 2 episodes.
Like ass.
Oh. That's
Yeah.
like my thing with a lot of different things. But cool.
There was no reason for it. I just stopped and
Mhm.
never went
You
back.
didn't go back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's very good. I think the first 4 episodes do a good job. And mind you, for anybody who hasn't seen it, each episode is only honestly about 10 minutes. And then they spend the last 5 minutes, you either spend that with a Japanese chef or a Japanese journalist who will either make food based on the episode or go to a bar and eat food based on the episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's really odd.
It's like
But it's cozy.
it's like the perfect lunch break anime.
It's
Yeah.
Like, you got your food, you want to consume some type of content. Don't have a whole lot of time because your lunch break is either 30 minutes or an hour, which really means your lunch break is about 5 minutes. And even though it's 15 minutes long, look, time is wibbly wobbly, and it fits. It is the perfect amount of time which to eat food, enjoy something, and then get back to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Emphasis on eat food while you're watching. Or immediately before.
You really want to have some type of snack with this anime.
Yeah.
It helps. It really does. Oh, frick.
In episode 1, I think episode 1 really nailed it for me because so in each episode they show a dish, at least one dish, sometimes multiple dishes. And in episode 1, it's the dish Odin. Yes,
Mhm.
it gets compared to Odin himself, which is
Yeah. That was cute.
I've never had Odin, but like I really now.
I mean, it looks tasty, right?
Oh, so
But yeah, like each episode is usually centered around like one specific dish, and there's some reason for it to be to be relevant in the episode. We go from oden to fried chicken to tofu to just all kinds of sashimi. It's just all over the place.
and I love, like, even though it's not a very plot driven show, each episode does have a miniature plot, and so far, and as of the first 4 episodes, like, you could watch them out of order from what I saw.
Uh-huh.
But if you don't, you'll notice that The character who gets dragged to the shop in episode 1 introduces someone else to it in episode 2.
Like, it is episodic, but it is also evolving. Like, it's not completely, hey, what happened to Penny Proud playing on the boys' football team? Oh yeah, that never happened.
But then,
Yeah,
like, episode 3, the Royals, I think, right?
Yeah, that was the rich. That's the rich guy.
And then episode 4 is like the medium class, the middle class, who also heard about it from the palace guards.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's their one advertiser.
Mhm.
But like some reoccurring stuff starts showing up later on. There are a couple like 2-part episodes that are like, hey, this is a plot. We need to deal with this.
Mm.
Which, I won't go into here, but like
Mhm.
as a brief example, episode 5 we didn't get to has a tax collector show up.
Oh.
And he has a lot of questions.
That he does. I bet any
How
government
do?
entity, like,
How do you tax a mysterious restaurant
Well,
that
as
just
far
shows
as
up?
they know, well, it doesn't appear and disappear. It's just that
Okay.
their front door. It's always in the same spot. It's just that their front door opens to this other place. Their other door opens out into Japan.
so
Mhm.
I have a headcanon.
Okay.
The magic that they use for this restaurant is the same magic that Howl uses to have multiple wizard shops and multiple different all around the world.
Sure.
Okay.
It's also the same magic used in Doctor Who that goes completely off.
The TARDIS, yeah.
Yes, of course.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I've ever finished Howl's Moving Castle, and it's been a long time since I watched even a little bit of it. I need to rectify that one of these days.
Before you do, read the book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
The
Like, is there a book or is it a manga?
it's a book. The
Interesting.
Howl's Moving. It's actually a book.
Oh. Okay.
And if I remember correctly, when the movie came out, because obviously Miyazaki got permission, does that.
Uh-huh.
The author
Yeah.
saw the movie and said, "This is not my book. This is an amazing movie, and I'm so happy it exists in the world.
Uh-huh. But it's not my book.
And honestly, I love that. I realize that's not really what we're talking about today, but I'm tangenting, so deal with it.
Yeah.
You can tell me to shut up. I promise I will. But
No.
because right now we are living in, I guess, a thematic universe or whatever, where when something comes out in a media, like you almost want a chapter by chapter, page by page, word by word rendition. But if you can take a source material like Miyazaki did with Howl's Moving Castle and use it as inspiration to go, I read this, I loved this book. This book gave me a lot of ideas of how I would have written it, and this is what that is.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. My perspective on adaptations in general is if they're gonna try to follow the original source material, it needs to be as good or better. If they're not going to follow the original source material, it still needs to be as good or better. But like, if you're not going to follow it, then just go all out in the other direction. I don't care.
And I think it's like the difference between something being based off of versus inspired by.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Balto is definitely inspired by the actual dog. It's
Right,
not about
exactly.
the actual dog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you have situations like Ella Enchanted, which I can't do it.
Yeah.
Definitely inspired by, but they took.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you could suck all of the magic out of something until I saw that movie.
Yeah,
Question:
and yes.
how did we get to this tangent? Because we're talking about Disney movies.
Hell's Moving Castle going into my
Oh,
head
the
canon.
doors. Yes,
So
magic.
Isekai
Yes.
Isekaya. It's great.
I'm not gonna lie, I
Sorry.
spaced out for a second, and you guys were talking about something entirely different.
Well, that's what
Let's see.
Twitch is still counting. It's catching back up.
There we
YouTube
go.
is reacting.
okay.
I think we're back.
Okay.
Yep.
My internet just decided one giant.
Yeah, no, I saw Twitch start buffering.
hmm
YouTube started buffering, and you stopped talking. So it was just well.
I need this type of thing not to happen because I had just finished going. This is what you get for not keeping us on track. We are the captain, you are the herder, and then I just heard silence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
All right. So back to what we're talking about. Isekai Izakaya. So, do we want to do the usual likes and dislikes, or do we want to just go ahead and talk about the very short, precious episodes?
I mean, I'm fine with just rambling. I think it goes better.
I did want to ask if there was anything like any of us didn't like about it, but yeah, I agree. I like the rambling a lot better than trying to keep to a specific.
So one thing that was only relevant for the first two episodes, and then I think either they were broadcast together or they just realized it was stupid, is that there is a huge amount of text on screen that is just there the entire episode.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That made me
like
the
to the point that it's covering some of the characters' faces, and I'm like, you could just move that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gone by episode 3 and 4, so it's gone for the rest of the series. But it's like in the first two episodes, it's just, hey, I know what the episode's called. You can just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another. Go ahead.
I was just gonna bring up and this. I mean, this isn't. This is the thing that some things sometimes do that annoys me. But they seem to get rid of it by the third episode. Like we had the first guy come in, and the guy's showing him all the stuff, and he drinks the beer. The beer is cold. How is it cold? It's so cold. Blah 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 blah. And the edamame and everything. And then we get it again in the next episode. The next guy, the beer is cold, and the edamame. But I mean, it was just the first two, and then after that, we got new stuff after that.
And I think
which is fine. But if they had kept going with the beer is cold,
I kind of liked it actually because like I'm imagining watching it by like week by week. And you're right. If it had gone on any longer than it did, it would have been way too repetitive. But like, I love that. Like, I loved it. Was almost like a little inside joke of the sipping the beer and then the chugging the beer. And the guy who had experienced it in the first episode was like, "Yeah, that's
like,
right.
Yeah, I remember my first time.
You drink that beer."
Yeah. Like, it's not a complaint in this sense. Because they didn't just keep doing it. It happened the two times, and then it was gone. But if they kept doing it, like I know we've talked about Dresden Files before, and I'm sorry, like I'm glad that Files. Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Are we tangenting again?
Yeah. Just a short one. Just a short one.
All right.
If we go on too long, bring us right back, Sharko. But yeah. I mean, he eventually got better about it. But the first several times of reading the Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle's not actually blue, but it was one. But like, it once was blue, but since then has blah 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 blah. I mean, you can only read that so many times. I think he did it like 4 books in a row
every single time. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't. Look, no. Do it twice. And then after that, like, find some other way to describe it. Like, describe someone else like describe observing someone else looking at the blue beetle and how they maybe shifted their eyes from the one color door to the other color roof to the other color door to
something was
the
different about the blue beetle. Like something else had been damaged every single time he brings it up.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah,
what I was
yeah.
going to say was that while yes, he does repeat it similarly, it's usually with some new scar.
Or
Sure,
like it's the same
sure.
thing with his apartment. His
Mhm.
apartment gets
That
like,
he doesn't decorate with colors, he decorates with textures. And yeah.
that starts off with rugs and tapestries of
Mhm.
random things, and
Mhm.
later you realize that he has learned they are authentic. Some of them are authentic Navajo rugs, and he points that out.
Mhm. Mhm.
I,
Like he gets better as the series goes on. The first 4 books were difficult for me to get through, and that was one of the reasons.
I can like I it is not something that would have bothered me. In fact, it's something that engaged me, but I can also understand why it would bother somebody else.
Mhm.
But I'm also in the
And
process of reading all of the Dresden.
going back to Animu,
Yes.
Yes.
Back to anime.
um, something I really enjoyed, and this kind of gets brought up early a couple of times, and it gets brought up a little bit more later on. It's just like people from a medieval society seeing things from a modern world.
Mhm.
Cucumbers.
Well, like the cucumbers, the glass,
Yeah.
the stuff
Yeah.
being filled, all of the stuff being so clean, like
Mhm.
all
The
of
hot
that.
towels, the different vegetables and stuff during a cold weather a
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Um and they're just so flabbergasted by that. Back to the glass. You're right. They did hone in on that glass and how yeah, it would be very expensive. Um the in the town that I grew up in, there was a museum at the end of my street, one of the oldest houses in that town, and I gave tours in that house. And one of the things about that tour that we love to tell people about was the small squares of stained glass um, around the front door and decorating the mantles and stuff throughout the house. And how back then that was a sign of wealth because one, glass, two, colored glass. What? And it had it throughout the entire house. Um, yeah.
One thing
Yeah.
that really really like I didn't expect it to hit me this hard, because it's something
Mhm.
I never thought about, is in episode 3 when the royals, the two royal characters are there, or I guess rich characters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The uncle makes comment that it has been an incredibly long time since either of them have actually eaten a warm meal because of everything that has to go into making sure the food is safe to eat before they can eat it.
Mhm.
And it's like when you think of quote rich people, you think of living in the lap of luxury, right? You think of
Mhm.
oh, they always get the best clothes, the best food, the best blah 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 blah. And then there's, oh wait, and by the way, we never eat more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because by the time they get to it, it's cold.
Well, that's how you
Um,
stop from getting poisoned.
The Void
yeah.
Book remains
Well,
unchecked out. That book is actually on loan in our library, and we are waiting for it to be returned, ready by next week. So if you would like to check it out next, I can put you on a waiting.
Hey, Lulu,
Yeah.
you need to add Witch from Mercury.
I also need to add
Oh yeah.
Isekai Isekaya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so not great at this.
It's all right. It's all right.
Normally I message you privately about it, but if we're talking about the Void Book,
And just call me
Yeah.
out on it. If you call me out on stream, I'm more likely to do it and time to do it.
Hopefully.
that's fair. Anyways, yeah. So like, I like that they address the differences between a medieval society and a modern one,
Mhm.
just from like technology, from like cooking preparation, stuff like that. Like, he doesn't really do anything that wouldn't be possible, like in their time period. It's just a lot easier.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, I firmly believe that he could do pretty good food with resources that are local there.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't need to because they live in Japan.
Yeah. And she can just walk out the back door to the 100 yen store and get some pickles.
Yeah.
Like, no, miss, it's dangerous to go out at night by yourself. Like, nah, it's just around the corner.
Yeah.
It's fine. And the door is what is that?
To be fair, he is simping pretty hard.
Yeah.
Not as hard as that other guy simping after her chicken.
Oh my god. No, this is my favorite meal. You can't have it.
Look,
Good
man,
on
it's my
you.
lunch break. You don't get my food.
Like, you're a customer, but this is my food. No.
I also appreciate that she didn't give him her food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nah, man, this is
Like, no,
mine.
I worked hard. This is my food.
You can come back tomorrow. You already got a meal.
Yeah.
Also, something that might not have come up, or you guys might not have thought of, but like they're getting paid in silver.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why everything's so cheap because they're like, yeah, pay us in fucking silver. I don't know how we're gonna convert this, but yes, please
I
pay
was
us in
wondering
precious
about
metals.
that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure rich people would actually pay gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for that multi-course meal that they served. Like the look on her face when she was like they finished and she's like, there's only one problem. It wasn't enough. And then she's like, oh, it's okay, honey. This is just the first course.
You know, we got you.
Oh my god. Oh, but also that little girl, I know we talked about how we're not really sure what her age is.
Yeah,
But yes, the pouty difficult to
the brat.
yeah, the brat.
You can just say
Um,
brat.
she reminded me of me, except I'm not rude like that when I order. But like we talked about my food aversions, and it's like yeah, I don't like spicy food either, or bitter, or sour, or like yeah, no, I feel this. I probably wouldn't have eaten even most of what they gave her. I can't do tofu. Um, but
That's
but
fair.
yeah.
I
But
can
I'm
be
not rude
pretty,
like that. Ever. Never. Ever.
I can be pretty picky, but I've tried to get a lot better about it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I get it. I thought the answer to her request was pretty good, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it looked delicious. Like, that's the thing about most of these things is that they look so good.
Look,
And
man,
it makes me think I want to eat it, and I know that I really don't.
I want to try it. If I
Yeah,
could
I
go to a
try
restaurant and just
things.
be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, can I just try things?"
That would be like the well, actually no, I was about to say that'd be the most epic restaurant idea. Yeah, it freaking exists. It's called a buffet. That's
not the
literally
same,
the
though.
idea behind a buffet is you can try
That's
as many
true.
different dishes
Well,
as you want.
well, but no, because like a buffet is a crap load of food made for everyone. I just want a little like tasting menu.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to eat the thing that was cooked 2 hours ago
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
but the
hasn't sold.
thing of that is they would
Oh,
have
it's
to make
expensive.
the whole meal just for
Yeah,
you to
look,
taste a bit of it.
look, I get it.
Yeah.
Here, like, I mean,
Okay, so the trick would be to work in the kitchen and be like, and every time there's
Eh,
a new dish, be like, hey,
mm-mm.
can you just
nah,
spoon a little bit of that into onto a separate little plate, like just one bite?
I
Yeah,
can
thanks.
guarantee you that's not how that works.
No, I know it's not, but
I have a source, but I can guarantee you that ain't how it goes.
look,
I know,
I am
but
terrified. Despite being married to one, I am terrified of chefs.
I mean, you should be.
Chefs in kitchens are
Interesting.
terrifying. You stay out of their way. Also, I used to hate tofu, but now I love tofu. And the reason I found out that I love tofu is I accidentally ordered deep fried crunchy tofu one day, and oh my god.
I
I've
would
never
like
actually
that.
had it.
I would try that. I mean, I try things. Don't please don't assume that I don't try anything. I did try things. I just don't like most of them.
You're fine. We went over this texture
Mhm.
issues.
Mhm. Yeah, I know you guys know, but now we're live and we have an audience
Yeah,
of
they don't
2
need to
people.
know.
Yeah, it's so tofu is one of the reasons why tofu in so many dishes for vegetarians is it's one of those foods that takes on the flavor and sometimes
Mhm.
of what you're cooking it.
Mhm.
So
That's
like
the same reason I really like water chestnuts.
Mhm.
They take on the taste of whatever you cook them in.
Oh.
I also used to hate mushrooms because mushrooms were bland and slimy or dry and bitter and I just bleh. And then back when we were dating, my husband bought these stuffed mushrooms and he's like, try it. It tastes like a steak. And if you had blindfolded and put a piece of this mushroom, stuffed mushroom, into my mouth, would not have convinced me I was not eating steak.
I mean, yeah, isn't that what they like literally do for vegetarians?
Sometimes, there are like it's not a perfect thing. Like, fortunately,
Oh,
like
sure.
one of the things that Yami has made, like mushrooms have a very specific texture, and it is very difficult
Mhm.
to disguise that texture unless you are. Actually, I was curious. Would you eat? Would you be able to eat it if it were mince?
I guess we'd have to find out.
Like
I
minced up
would
and
try
mixed in
it.
with like a meat and like a lumpia wrapper.
The mushrooms, maybe. The onions, no. 'Cause I know we talked about onions earlier.
I
Onions, absolutely no.
I'm with you on onions because for me it's raw onions. I can taste a raw onion from a mile away and I cannot do it. I cannot do raw onion.
Mhm. Yeah. I can't do any of them. I can't do a single one of them. I've tried.
If you take a
Um,
big chunk of an onion and soak it in a beef broth to where it's translucent, purely translucent, soft.
nope. 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 And I can cook it. I can cook it in the beef broth, sure. So it can flavor other things. But then when I go to eat, like I have to push all of that to the side. I'm very difficult.
Honestly, the fact that you're like that you have so many texture preferences and stuff, but knowing that let's say you were over here, you were hanging out for a week or whatever, and I went,
Mhm.
"Hey Yami, I got chicken nuggets in the fridge, but we're making this. Would you be willing to try it?"
Mhm.
That means you're not difficult.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the
And I'm not rude.
willingness.
And I yeah, like yeah.
'Cause I've lived with someone who would give it a side eye, and every once in a while they would try it.
Mhm. Mhm. Now, you'd have to forgive me if I go to try it and then I make a face and then spit it into a napkin as discreetly as I can. But um
I mean, I'm a mom.
yeah. Yeah.
I have a 6-year old who today thanked me, hugged me, and told me I was the bestest mommy ever because I added fish balls to. And this
Aw.
same child yesterday looked at a chopped cheese sandwich and went, "Ew."
Yeah, that's fair. So, food.
See,
Mhm.
I wouldn't call this a tangent. I would call this pretty on brand for us and pretty accurate to the episode. Cause
No, it's relevant. It's absolutely
Mhm.
relevant.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
I don't really have much else to say because we actually like if you do the amount of like the time math, we only actually watched about 2.5, maybe 3 episodes.
yeah, uh,
Because we watched about 60 minutes of content, which is about 3 episodes.
I do have one nitpick, and it's kind of not really, but also yes, totally a nitpick.
Okay.
I wish there were a dub.
I don't think it got popular enough.
Mm.
But
I don't think it got enough attention.
like I said, like this is the type of anime that I would want to just sit down and eat food and just relax and enjoy in the background. But since it's subbed, I kind of can't do that. I have to give it my attention.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's not the type of anime like it's I don't know. I want to be able to give attention, but at the same time I want to be able to listen to it and giggle alongside of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
I
very
get that.
passive anime watcher. Speaking of anime, we have another anime for next week.
Yeah, what did you end up
Mm-hmm.
picking?
Look, it changed like 3 times because we watched Gigix Fall anime video that came out today, and we watched Mother's Basement's trash anime, which is the same thing as Gigix Fall anime, except he's complaining about the anime, except not really. I don't understand the series, but I enjoy it.
Well, I mean, I can explain that.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, Giguk is specifically talking about every anime and being like, "Hey, here's like 30 seconds of what this is about." Mother's Basement is specifically saying, "This is shit. This is why it's shit."
But the shit that he chooses, he a lot of the times like it's good.
Well, some of it.
Some of
And
it.
like generally, if it is, he'll give it a lower trash rating. The trash rating system is very convoluted, and he refuses to explain it again. But like, for instance, Beast Hammer. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's not great.
It was
It's
almost
very generic.
it was almost next week's episode. I'm not gonna lie.
I kind of figured.
Beast Tamer was almost next week's episode. The what was it? The marriage one was almost next week's episode.
Which marriage one?
The one where they have to live in dorms.
Oh, right, that one.
Where did I put the tissues?
Uh-huh.
The ninja
What?
was almost next
Yes.
week's episode.
I don't know.
I'm kind of happy you didn't pick that one because it sounds incredibly boring.
Yeah, after Mother's Basement is what knocked that one kind of out of the run.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, none of the ones I mentioned are actually next week's. Next week's episode is going to be the DIY anime.
Do it yourself.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I think
I thought about picking it this week actually.
I like the idea of giving us a little bit of a emotional
buffer.
roller coaster break.
That's fair.
Lauren, over here.
Even so,
Okay.
let's see. Let's look back at some of the anime that we have reviewed in the past because I liked doing that last week. Did you guys like doing that last week?
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, we can just look at the bookshelf.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do like every single one because that's super repetitive. But like last time we checked in, Salvo and I and Yami, I believe as well, we had all kept up with Chainsaw Man.
I am admittedly I haven't. Did I watch? We watched last week's.
We watched last week's. We need to watch this week. Normally,
That's right. We hated last week's.
I'm behind already.
All right, we're not going to talk about
we're
that.
not gonna talk about that too much.
I was going to watch Gundam, but I got distracted by other people.
And I didn't hate last week's episode. I hate a specific character that's
Yeah, that's fair.
shown a lot. The episode itself was actually pretty entertaining.
That's fair. Look, he just needs to die for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay.
That's all I'll say about that.
But yeah, we're now, I want to say 2 episodes behind of My Hero.
Yeah, but we could knock that out literally whenever. I mean, later this week will be a lot more difficult. With it being some kind of holiday thing.
Admittedly, I'm going to be completely just.
Yeah, I kind of figured you're fine.
Look, there's a lot of Pokemon.
That
Did
too.
you pick up Pokemon? Are you playing?
No. Look, I've never finished a Pokemon game. I
That's
enjoy
fair.
them for like 2 weeks and then I stop.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there aren't plethoras of playthroughs all over Twitch if you have the desire to see it played.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd watch people play this one. It's a little jarring at times.
It can be. I actually saw somebody comment on it's like a female gamer group or something that I'm in. And they're like, "Hey, I haven't played a Pokemon game since the DS. And I almost bought Arceus, and then I didn't. And I'm considering buying this new one. Should I buy this new one? Should I buy Arceus, or are they both repetitive with the DS version?" And I was like, "Okay, so they're completely different and different from each other. However, I unfortunately would not suggest a new or returning fan of the genre to play.
Mhm.
Arceus is pretty decent at this point.
Oh yeah, I meant the new one, not Arceus.
Yeah.
I was saying like you should probably
No,
give
you're
it for Arceus.
I give Scarlet and Violet like 6 months, hopefully. I hope.
Mm.
God, I hope.
And Falcon, didn't I play the Diamond one?
Brilliant Diamond
For
Shining Pearl.
yeah. Falcon mentioned my Pearl run, and I'm like, it wasn't Pearl, it was Diamond. And yeah,
Forgot
that was very short.
forgot I bought Diamond.
I got really, really, really impressed with the shiny floors, and that was the highlight of that stream.
I am sorry that Diamond was one of the ones you chose to buy.
I mean, like I had tried to play several of them. I played, let's see, I played Platinum,
Platinum.
and uh, I played one of the X and Y. I played one of the Black and White. I played, um, I played Let's Go Eevee. But none of these games, I never I never finished any of them.
I was gonna
I
say
did get Pearl. Okay. All
you
right,
tried
sure.
a bunch of them apparently.
I did. Yes. And I enjoyed them for the time that I played, and then and then I got bored.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Or I got busy. But yeah.
started playing in Ruby, I want to say, and I have played and or beaten most of the ones I've done. I admittedly got Brilliant Diamond because I remembered Platinum being so good, and then realized that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl didn't have any of the Platinum content,
Mm.
Oh
aka
no.
my favorite boy Giratina.
Like
But
normally I'm a pretty big defender of the Pokemon games because I feel like a lot of the time when people complain it's because they want to complain about something. But Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were not it.
well,
Mm.
like the only complaints I actually heard was that people were mad they kept the original art style.
It was boring.
I mean,
Like
I don't know what to tell you. Like I didn't finish it, so clearly, yeah, on some level, sure.
exactly. Like you didn't finish it. I didn't finish it. Uh
I'm notorious
Tsukasa
for not finishing
didn't
games,
finish
so.
it.
I mean, admittedly, that's a better metric right there.
Like I it
Uh,
they would have had more success just what is it called? The thing that they did with Final Fantasy VIII when they re-released it, remastering the game.
well, sure, but then they couldn't have sold it for full price.
Well, yeah, it was
Yeah,
not a full price game
I mean, neither is Scarlet and Violet.
at this point. No, and that makes me really sad because I am like it's so weird because like I am enjoying Scarlet, I'm just enjoying Violet so much. It is incredibly fun.
It is the worst performing Pokemon game I've ever played, but it is the most fun I have had in like 10 years.
Exactly. Like
It should not work.
Interesting.
The changes, like, there are a couple of things I really wish they would have changed, but obviously they didn't have time. This game really needed like 6 months to another year.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, they literally were not allowed to have more time. They have a very strict development schedule.
Mm,
Yeah, it's got to be out by November of the. Got to be out by
The
November.
3 years, it's got to be out every 3 years in November.
interesting.
And clearly, with Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Arceus, it was just too much stuff, and they didn't have enough time. Because I would love to have seen this game with about another year of time to work on it.
That being said, please don't take our games away. I'm really happy that we have them, and I'm going to continue playing it and loving it, and don't make it go. Not
Why
saying
didn't
it
give
go away?
back. Just saying would have waited.
Look,
Yeah.
I think that more publishers should be willing to fucking delay.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sorry, not even publisher, developers. The
Yeah.
problem is usually the publisher.
Like honestly, I remember being super surprised that we were getting another Pokemon game so soon. It felt like to me after Arceus.
Well, I thought it was like a situation like the Monster Hunter guys, because, for instance, Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak and Monster Hunter World and Iceborne are two entirely separate development teams. So you're not taking away from either one's development. They're
Mhm.
both running at the same time. I assumed it was something like this, but I don't know anymore. These things are not good performance wise. I mean, you can just scroll through like Twitter or YouTube and just see so many glitches.
Well, I mean, I deleted my Twitter account. It's a dumpster
Uh,
fire.
Look,
uh,
go ahead.
there are a lot of reasons for people to stay on Twitter. It is very difficult to get a following to move with you.
hmm
And a lot of the people that I am on Twitter for are still
hmm
there. Yeah, they're making backup accounts in other places, and
hmm
we could have a whole conversation about the hellscape that is Twitter, but we're not gonna.
To
Isn't
be
it great?
fair,
Go ahead.
I had already deleted Twitter off of my phone,
Oh no,
and
that's fine.
like everybody that I follow on Twitter, I also follow on YouTube or Instagram or this or that.
Sure.
So it didn't hurt me too much to delete Twitter.
Yeah.
But I understand why other people have not yet.
I am perfectly happy in my little oblivious corner of Twitter where nobody really knows I exist there yet. By the way, I'm on Twitter if anyone subscribe or follow me over there. However, I'm perfectly happy in my little oblivion. I can follow my art, occasionally come across something that is vastly confusing until I get it explained to me.
And that's perfectly fine and understandable.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
hmm
Also, I have Tumblr now because it has been hinted at that now is a good time to go over to Tumblr.
In theory.
Yeah, see, I've had Tumblr the entire time. I still have Tumblr.
I now mind you, I never figured out Twitter until very recently either. But I know even less about Tumblr. I have made 2 different Tumblr accounts. And every time I'm like on there for a few minutes and I'm like, I don't understand this.
Which is fair.
I don't know how to navigate this. I don't know how to search this. I don't know how to get my
Mhm.
stuff seen on this. I
Mhm.
do not get it.
Yeah,
TikTok?
that's fair.
TikTok was the opposite. I was like, I'm not gonna app. I'm not an app person. I'm not a social media kind of gal, but you know what? I saw something funny and I'm gonna watch the funny things. And I loaded up TikTok to watch the funny video, and 2 hours later I've made an account. 3 days later I'm
Yes.
making posts.
hmm
That's completely fair.
By the way, I'm also on TikTok. You can find me under LUULUSO.
What the odds?
And see, I don't have a TikTok. I don't know how to use TikTok. I just sometimes get sent links to TikTok and then I watch the one video. And because I don't have a TikTok app, that's all I can do is watch the one video.
Now, I will say that when it comes to TikTok, I am completely at the mercy of the algorithm. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I have attempted to control the algorithm a few times. Like, oh yeah, I want to search up polymer clay videos, and I've not gotten polymer clay videos, but somehow I'm on native talk, which I don't hate, but I don't understand how I got there. But I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I've also gotten on most recently Polycule Talk.
All right.
Sounds interesting.
Lots of really not surprisingly, but just like really wholesome content on there with polycules.
Yay. I still need to read boyfriends.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Also, do we want to keep streaming? At this point, we're kind of just rambling.
It's up to you guys. Do you guys want to cut the stream, or do you want to keep going? Because I don't really care either way.
Falcon, are you still entertained by listening to our ramblings?
Have we become your first choice of a second one?
I was going to say
Yeah.
that I feel that we should stop here because it's no longer relevant to what we were talking about and what the whole thing is titled for.
I can change the title.
Well, sure.
Had very Salvo very politely trying to be like, can we stop now? And me just not getting the social cue.
Look, if you guys want to keep going, we can keep going. That's completely fine.
Just switch
I
over
just
to
wanted to bring up the fact that we were kind of just hanging out now.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, Fox is about to start streaming. Okay.
Oh,
cool.
well, yeah, no. Who else is? We could raid. Can we raid? I don't think we can.
You should be able to, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know any. Wait, I have my phone. I can check my phone. Everyone. When is Fox streaming?
People we could raid.
He's streaming right now, actually.
Fox is live now?
Looks like he's
Pokemon.
doing Pokemon.
Perfect. All right, so he's Lost
Fox Aaron.
ERIN.
Yep.
All right. So let's see if we can raid as an affiliate.
I mean we can't raid as an affiliate.
No,
we
raid before.
Yeah, you should be able to. I raided before I became affiliate.
We are unable to raid Lost Fox Aaron at this.
Oh well, maybe I'm lying.
Maybe it's because
we're dual streaming.
Yeah, it could. It shouldn't be, but it could be. But so if you are watching us via YouTube, hi. Tune in next week. We're gonna be watching
Do It Yourself.
Do It Yourself.
Me.
Like, subscribe, or run away. You know, whichever one we've managed to capture your interest with. So bye YouTube. Hey, YouTube's gone.
Bye.